Hi everyone, Skillshot 99 Gaming. This is Playdead Live. We got Ark, we got VOX, and we got a Frozen Jungle Faction War for you guys tonight. This one has been, we've been waiting a long time for this one because we've had some schedule changes, some updates, some Playdead Live stuff happening. So I did want to start the stream a little bit early and just cover kind of like the state of PDL, so you guys got an idea of what's going on. You guys have seen Castle Strike is in the future and farm fights and all these things that are happening. And a lot of times we do a fish strike and keep on keeping on while we're doing some things in the background. So we do have a marquee matchup tonight. Both teams 4-1. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Ark traveling to VOX. It's going to be a real test during the season to see how both teams are. Do we have a lot of rust? Are they using their new items they got in the most recent box event? So this year we rolled out several new events. So we know we have ropes. So Castle Strike keeps getting pushed back a little bit because the plan was to roll out Castle Strike after we roll out our brand new video game. We've got Phantom Fishing, we've got Kills Game. So the latest update, I think that we're going to have Farm Fight ready to go by April 1st. So that I think we're getting close on it. We did a little test last night, so thank you for you guys that got a chance to see it. What'd you guys think? Pretty good, right? I think we got another winner on our hands with Farm Fight. So looking forward to that. But we've got some change, some things to clean up when you develop a game. With that being said, we're going to have Ship Strike in 2 weeks, a week and a half, I guess, on a Monday. And then if we roll out Farm Fights by the 1st of April, we will roll out Castle Strike the second week of April. So Castle Strike is going to happen. Believe me, we've already got the avatars. You got some new avatars that are created. So Castle Strike looks like it'll be the second week of April, and then we'll go Castle Strike on that second Monday, and then we'll go Ship Strike right after that. There's a lot of synergy between Farm Fight, Castle Strike, and Ship Strike. Some really cool things that you guys are going to like whenever you see that. So, for example, playing Farm Fight is going to unlock the farm in your castle, which is going to be able to unleash a lot of zombies on the attackers. So really cool stuff. But you guys know there's nothing like Faction Wars, and that's what we're here for. But wanted to take a couple minutes and let you guys know a lot of stuff is being worked on in the background. So let's take a look at the standings as we mentioned before. There you go. We got Ark at 4-1. We got VOX at 4-1. However, even though Ark has a higher point differential, VOX has the tiebreaker right now. So technically, before we start tonight, VOX is in first place because they beat Ark head-to-head at Ark. So this is a big match. If VOX gets the win tonight, they'll be up by 1 game, but they'll have a 2-0 tiebreaker, which is pretty huge. So we've got Ark at VOX tonight. Next Wednesday night, we got Ark on the road again, traveling to Team Jet. And then after tonight, VOX, 2 weeks off, and then they go to Sly. And we know Sly has been hot lately. Sly played an amazing game last week. They were clicking on all cylinders. So very anxious to see what we got in store. All right, so you know what we're going to do. It is sliver sacrifice time. And just for fun, what we like to do is type what you think the grenade is going to be that you're going to have to sacrifice tonight. I'll show you the wheel. I mean, you got all these choices up there. So what do you think it's going to be? And it could help your luck tonight. Dimes thinks it's going to be a top hat. Ooh, a couple people top hat. Kels is going to be Unforgiven. Justice says Snowstorm. Oracle, top hat. All right, you got several people thinking it's top hat. All right, tell you what we'll do. You get one guess. If you get it right, I'm going to give you 50 kills tokens. Maybe that'll get a few people to participate. How about that? 50 kills tokens if you guess which one of these grenades is going to come up. You only get one guess. That'll get you a few kills games. It'll cover your fishing on a fishing night. 50. Get about 50 cast in, right? All right. Here we go. We're going to spin the wheel. Oh, my goodness. Who said top hat? The top hatters got it. Dimes, Doc, and Dow. Look at that. That's a pretty good guess. All right, Ron. Now, top hats, some people are like, yeah, I got a lot of top hats. That's probably a pretty good sacrifice. Going to help you clean up your inventory a little bit. All right, Ron, what time is it? We're going to give away a pack for the next box event coming up in April. All right, roll time. Everybody give me a number from 1 to 12. 1 to 12. 1 to 12. Quickly, because we got to go over a bundle, and we got to show you what all's in this Super Bomber. Loaded tonight. All right, got 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Number 7, lucky number 7. Who picked that? All right, Julia, congratulations. Julia with a free pack. All right, I'm going to take you to tonight's Epic War Bundle. Brand new gear, everybody. Check this out. We're going to start up top with the Silver Bundle. A lot of these by request. Extreme, Steel, Vine Smoke by request. Some people are getting low. 1 Gas Blast by request. Low. Nice little bonus item in there. Brutal Base. We got Graphene, Carbine, 1 of each of your waxes. Take you over to the Red Zone. Rage Potion. Enrage. Enrage 3. Frantic 5, Savage 6, Mag 7, Super 8, Hostile 9, Terror 10. Check this out. Because the gear has 2 glyphs, some of y'all were like, I don't have enough glyphs to glyph my gear. Well, now you do, because in the bonus, we're putting an extra Arson and an extra Rugged. Now, you still got Megacosms that you can use for those, but you got 2 Brutal, Rugged Glyph, 2 Brutal Red, Arson Glyph, and you got that bonus Arson, which makes 2, the bonus Rugged, which makes 2. We've got Gold Weapon Skins, Gold Summon Skins, Rage Tonic, and then we got Green Bundle. We got Energy Orb, Spider Silk, Combat Orb, Heal Smoke, 1 Gold Spark, Max Seal, Sly Smoke, Moonshine, Blue Spark. Up top, we're going to give you a standard recipe, Mythic Summon Skin, Colossal, Megacosm, and the all-new piece of gear. That's right, little Limp Bizkit inspiration there. It is the helmet. It is H28, D20, B20, AP18. I think Doc said earlier today. Those stats. And brand new ability called Break Stuff. Break Stuff, if you use that as your ability, it will lower every block on your wall by 5%. That means if you've got all your blocks up there, each one of them will lower. That counts as a damaged block. Think about that. It is a damaged block. Now, if you use it with a black block, it's not going to be a full black block. But if you have blocks that are damaged and give you a bonus, then you can figure that out. All right, Kel, load it up. And we're going to take you now to the Super Bomber. Y'all make a little noise. Give me 999s if you want this Super Bomber to be super. All right? Because a lot of y'all ordered this Super Bomber already. So let's do it. Let's see what's in it. Look at all those Grizzlies. Grizzlies, Friday nights we'll be back again. Friday nights have been put on hold a little bit because we're doing a lot of game development that you guys are going to love. But that is 20 Grizzlies. 20 Grizzlies. 2 Raptures, 2 Oracles, Lithium, Seismic, Vapor, Snowstorm, Gin Grenade, Red Eye, Top Hat, Whammo, Unicorn, Grinch, Glitch, St. Milo, 2 Maximons, 2 Unforgiven, 2 Treks, 2 Summon, 2 Spade, 2 Sweet Tea. We did not do a bomber, Super Bomber, in the month of February. That's why it's loaded. Look at the bonuses here. right down the middle. Now, these are single grenades only. That's why it's a bonus. That is 1 sad grenade, 1 cobra, 1 Dracaris, 1 grub, and 1 gamut. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If y'all make some real damn noise, I'm going to double up that line in the middle. I'll give you 2 sad, 2 cobras, 2 Dracaris, 2 grub, and 2 gamuts. But this little 2 or 3 people putting 999s in here, this ain't the way Play Dead Live rolls. All right, that's a little better. All right, dimes, we're going to double up this middle column. 2 sad, 2 cobra, 2 Dracaris, 2 grub, and 2 gamut. All right, we're doing this one time only. And you know what? Because you guys are awesome, I'm going to give you a Satan Spark. I'm going to give you a Ruthless 12, a Snake Smoke, and also a Rad Rage. Look at that. That's a little extra bonus in there. All right, now, let's get to some action here. Give me your pre-match buffs. If you're Jim, Valar, Julia, Shaman, Ron, Flyrod, Trigger, and Crimson, I need your pre-match buffs because we are going to play fast. All right. While those buffs are coming in, tonight's starting lineup is as follows. Going first, we got Trigger. Second, after Trigger, we got Julia. Julia sieging, captain. After Julia, we got Flyrod. Flyrod in the DZ. His avatar will be coming soon. After Flyrod, we got Valar in the tank zone. She's the sniper. After Valar, we got Crimson in the tank zone. Crimson followed by Shaman in the bomber zone. Shaman followed by Father Ron, Siege, Captain, and Sniper. Father Ron will be followed by Jim. Welcome back, Jim, in the DZ. Good to have a lot of familiar faces tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. Enjoy the game. Let's have some good competition, and let's play it to win. Here we go, everybody. Timer starts right now. Trigger, you're on the clock. Timers cannot be challenged. Captains, I will be reading it twice. And if I get to the second time and you have not said hits or wait, it will hit. Be ready to play fast. Trigger, timer is up. All right, there we go. She got the move in, but she typed a book. So we know that first move sometime a little bit difficult. So we got Trigger. Get into Rover, go to their DC, Dark Boston Main Street. Trigger getting into Rover. Let's give her a tire. Trigger with a tire, driving over to their DZ. Dark Boston Main Street. Trigger playing Dark Boss. In 1. We'll cap in 3. If it caps, that's a bonus 25. Negation wand for Julia's Sleet wand. Going to steal Julia's boss and drop a seal. Dang. Julia no boss. Negation wand. So air wands are out of play. F5 spade, going to play duplex. The trigger with duplex. All right, Rover's good. Go to their DZ, Dark Boss, Negation wand. Steal Julia's boss, seal, spade to the wall. Sacrifice a top hat. All right, they're going to halt it 3 times. So it's going to be equivalent to a S2 spade grenade. It is the strongest grenade in the game, so even though it's halted, Trigger blowing up a black block. And we're going to give you 20% of a green block, even though it was nerfed. 80 green remaining. All right, let's go over to Julia, who has no boss. 20-second timer, Julia. Beats the timer easily. Julia going to jump into Rover. Let's give Julia a tire as well. Move to their bomber zone. Emo Grindle to the haystack. Over there with Ron. Julia playing Emo Grin. Seal and Thrill. M7 Snowstorm to the wall. Duplex and sacrifice the top hat. Ron says wait. Julia quickly going to add Intaglio to it. All right. We got first dragon. Each team with a throw grenade as well. All right, Ron. Ron halted 4 times, which lowered it to an S3. They play Intaglio. Ron, any other actions now that they played? Well, actually, you can't because Intaglio hit. Sorry. Intaglio is after damage resolution. All right, so we've got A. S3, 4, 5, Intaglio. S5, Snowstorm. Black block. 60% of a green block. More juice on this one, in case you're wondering why a Snowstorm hit harder than a spade. 40 green remaining, and we are going to freeze one of those remaining blocks. Block number 3. All right, so that first blue block is frozen. Team VOX. All right, let's go over to Fly Rod. 20-second timer starts right now. This feeling like a championship match. This feeling like a heavyweight fight. Ah, the tank is here. Look at this move. Hang on. Ron, what do you... One should be removed from each. Hang on, Ron. What are you doing? One what should be removed? There is one. No, the X on top of the towers, they always stay there. That's where all my X's are, Ron. I move them from the top down here, see? Yeah. First row is hits, and then or throw, and then the hits go here. Yeah, it's just where they sit. All right. Needle to the haystack. Dusk Wand to Julia. All right, Dusk Wand. Y'all going to make me look this one up. Julia, your rage is going to be reduced by 50%. 1 second. We'll see if that's a DI. That might be a DI play, not a permanent play. I think it is. So give me a second. All right, so the Abyss, it reduces the range of players' attacks by 50% for 1 turn. All right, so that's a good play. All right, so Julia, your next attack, your range is reduced by half. So that means if you're in the rover, it won't have full range all over the map. All right, so Julia affected by the Dusk Wand, which will affect her range in her next attack. Nope, it is the Dusk Wand, not the smoke. All right, Fly Rod dropping a seal. Okay, Fly Rod, Needle to the haystack. Needle's going to kill Grendel. Dusk Wand to Julia. Next attack, 50% range. Drops a seal. ET Sweet T to the Watchtower with duplex and sacrifice a top hat. Let's get to Sweet Tea. We will light the Watchtower. Get the points from the Sweet Tea. Now, Sweet Tea has to put out a flame, so it is only a specialty grenade, so there's no points for that. And it does not count as a throw grenade. All right, Needle to the haystack, Dusk Wand, seal, E2 Sweet Tea to the Watchtower. Duplex and sacrifice a top hat. Because it did not put out a flame because it did not go to the temple. All right, Valar. 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Valar going to jump in the tank. Let's give Valar a... And we're off to a slow start, so I'm going to speed these readings up, everybody, so be ready to go. Read along with me. Jump in the tank. Wicked Boss to their chest. Move to the temple steps. All right, Valar playing Wicked Boss. Wicked Boss in 1. Cap in 3. Holy Avenger to the wall. Flourish Wand. Still Crimson's Grendel. Ron already says it hits. Thank you. Seal and Thrill. M7 Milo. All right, did not call a target for the Milo. So that is a penalty of 25 points. No targeting. So that's minus 25. Now Villar cannot get a minus 25 the rest of the game. But the first one Ron booked. Duplex and sacrifice the top hat. All right, in the tank is good. Wicked Boss is good. Movement's good. Holy Avenger to the wall means their wall cannot have any negative effects. So there's a legendary. It's already been used. Flourish Wand. Flourish Wand, will put that right there for somebody to run through, potentially. And Nature Wands are off the board. Or Earth Wands, sorry. Stole Crimson's Grendel, Seal and Thrill, Milo, and we're good. Crimson, you're up. 20-second timer. Crimson easily beats the timer. She's going to get into the tank. Move to the temple stairs. Dark Boss to the side chest with a seal. Let's give Crimson a cannonball. Dark Boss to the side chest. 2 Dark Bosses in play. F5 spade to the wall, duplex, and sacrifice a top hat. All right, spade, even though it hits, counts as a throw grenade because you got to get both your throw grenades in first. Both teams have 2 throw grenades. Arc used the Dominari, so they've used a second dragon. So Dominari would be no points for the cannonball. All right. Tank, stairs, Dark Boss, seal, grenade, duplex, and sacrifice a top hat. F5 spade, and she's in the tank. We'll take out the rest of the green block, a green block, and it stops because the wall is frozen. Shaman, you're up. 20 seconds. Shaman, Ron, and Jim. Shaman beats the timer. Shaman going to jump into Battleship. Oh, yeah. Shaman says, let me at him. Needle to the haystack, seal and absorption. Shaman playing needle in 1, cap in 2. Going to play duplex, navy to the flame, and sacrifice a sliver for a top hat, or top hat for a sliver. Navy puts out the temple flame. There's no hit grenade for that. Ronner says it hits, jump into battleship. She'll get an E3. Needle to the haystack. Seal absorption. Navy to the flame. Duplex ability. And sliver sacrifice. All right, let's go to Ron. 20 seconds. Ron from the bomber zone. Who is he taking? Which one of y'all are going to the portal? Oh, look at that. Look at Ron. Ron moving to the sniper zone. Ron playing Sultan. All right. Ron will roll a 4-sider. Ron, pick a number 1 to 4. If you're successful, Dragons or Titans, but they can't play both. It is 2. All right. Ron, Julia, you guys want to play Dragons or Titans, but you can't play both. So you will eliminate one of those two the remainder of the game. They're going to play Dragons, so none of their Titans, and they do have War Titans. Ron, with the success there, none of their Titans can be played this game. Now, Ron playing Sultan does count as a Dragon play. You can play 5 Dragons and Titans combined, but Art cannot play any Titans. It's a good roll, Ron. All right, moves to Sniper Zone. Hits on War Sultan. And there will be more Titans, so that's going to be a stronger item. Absorption. Sweet Tea to the temple. Ron playing duplex. Sacrifice that top hat. I know y'all got a lot of top hats because these sacrifices are happening quick. And Ron going to put out the Temple Flame with Sweet Tea, and he's going to get some points for it. All right, and Gemstone, 20-second timer, final move of round 1. Ron, I got your needle too. There. Put Ron's red needle. Played in 1. We'll cap in 2. Gemstone easily beats the timer. Jim going to play Mythic Needle. All right, so we got 3 needles. Sorry, Ron, I got to move you over just a little bit. You're blocking the haystack there, buddy. Put you at the door of the portal. Jim playing Needle. In 1, cap in 2. Seal, E3 St. Milo to the Watchtower. Duplex and sacrifice a top hat. All right, going to light the first Watchtower for Team Arc. And a Milo does hit. So we got our first hit grenade. Give him the Milo points. Mythic Needle is good. Seal is good. E3 St. Milo to the Watchtower, duplex, and sacrifice a top hat. And that is the end of round number 1. At the end of round number 1, Arc, 25 points in slivers. Vox, 25 points in slivers. Crimson, going to rotate into the Watchtower. Valar, also going to rotate into the Watchtower. That means each team is going to get a blessing. We got Fly Rod and Jim both in the bomber zones, or I'm sorry, the DZs, but we also got Trigger from the other team. So what that means is Vox is going to get 25 points, Arc 0. Vox is also going to light up a Watchtower because they have a Watchtower. They have a DZ advantage. So 5 points to 0. All right, looks like we got all scoring calculated, slivers, etc. We do need to give Jim a halo. We need to give Trigger a halo. We need to give Fly Rod a halo. And we also need to remove the sliver halos, one from each team. All right, round number 2. Trigger, 20-second timer. All right, reading it faster. Be ready. From their DZ, Colossal Kang to Main Street Boss, Pink Smoke, F4 Unforgiven to the Wall, and Sliver Ability. All right, Colossal Kang could be worth 73 if it caps. Pink Smoke, F4 Unforgiven to the Wall, so a little extra rage there. That will linger. And Sliver Ability, we already got it. So F4 Unforgiven is going to hit. Now, problem trigger, there's an ice block over there. So it's a nice throw, but that F4 Unforgiven with the Pink Smoke, all it's going to do is crack that ice block from the snowstorm. Tough one on that one. All right, let's go over to Julia. 20-second timer, Julia. Going to go to their rover zone. Now, Trigger did throw an Unforgiven, so that is the first hits grenade. So they did get credit for a hit. Both teams have one of their 3 hits. Their rover zone. Colossal Orbital, Pet Repel. F5 St. Milo to the wall with Sliver Ability. So Julia playing her duplex as well. Range has been cut in half. So the extra range is good from the rover zone. And F5 St. Milo. So give them the Milo. They get a second hits grenade. And the damage from the St. Milo is going to be we'll finish off 40% of the green block. And you take down 80% of the next green block. You still have 20 green remaining. 20 green left. Let's go to fly rod. Up, hold on. Before we go to fly rod, I need to get a colossal orbital in play. Colossal orbital, if it caps, could be worth 38. Rover, orbital, pet repel, and Milo. All right, fly rod, now you're on the clock. 20-second timer. Mythic Kang to Main Street, Dragon Smoke to the Bomber, St. Milo to the Watchtower, and Sliver Ability. All right, Sliver Ability, will pump that up 6 points. Actually, he played Duplex. It's going to pump it up 12 points. That's my bad. He did have a Duplex in round number 1. All right, Mythic Kang to Main Street, Dragon Smoke, Milo to the Watchtower, and Sliver. Milo hits. So we got a second hit grenade. Give him the points for the Milo. We're going to light the Watchtower. We're going to relight that Dragon Stone. And give him a Mythic Kang, which is possible 63. All right, let's go over to Valar. 20-second timer, Valar. It's a good call. I'll get to that in 1 second. It's a good challenge. Valar beats the timer. All right, now that Valar's moves in, Fly Rod did not pay the rage. So, the Milo does hit the ground. They do get the points for the Milo, but they don't light the Watchtower because he paid no rage for the attack. So, everything is good except the Watchtower's not lit. All right, Valar. Colossal Kang to her boss. Pet Repel, F5 Spade to the wall, and Sliver Ability. It's already duplexed. Ron says, wait. I'll go ahead and get the Pet Repel for Valar. I'll give her the Colossal Kang, which will be 73 if it caps. And we got an F5 Spade that Ron says, wait. All right, Ron, who are we waiting on? All right, they're going to Judas that. Where are you going to Judas it? To which target? All right. Julia, they got a Judas. Hits or wait. Immortal Blue from Valar. All right, first blue of the game. Played by Ark. Emo Blue to trigger. And that will break Trigger's seal and her absorption. With the Immortal Blue. Max Absorb is back. Because you guys wanted it so bad. Sometimes I want to play a season without it. I'm just saying. All right, Max Absorb. And she keeps her. Oh, I'm sorry. She doesn't have an absorption. She only has a seal. So she keeps her seal. All right, let's go over to Crimson. 20-second timer, Crimson. Crimson in the temple, in the tank. Easily beats the timer. Crimson is going to go Colossal Kang to Main Street, Pet Repel, S6 Spade to the wall, and use the Sliver ability. And she also has Duplex. All right, read it once. Colossal Kang to Main Street with a Pet Repel. 73-point Kang. S6 Spade to the wall, and Julia says tank page 1, so I'm assuming that is Shaman because she's the only tank on your team. So the grenade is stopped. That is Sheila's prevention. All right, before Sheila's turn, we'll cap the first needle of the game. Arc, 100 points with that needle. Shaman, you're on the clock, 20 seconds. We have Shaman, Ron, and Jim. Easily beats the timer. Mythic Kang to Valar's Boss, Dragon Smoke to the DC. Pet Repel and S12 Spade Grenade to the wall. Ron says, wait. I'm going to give a warning for a double smoke play. She cannot play Dragon Smoke and Pet Repel. First warning of the game. So no Pet Repel. Fly Rod going to prevent it. And Sliver ability. Shaman is duplexed as well. All right, let's get the Mythic Kang. It's a possible 63. Gets the Dragon Smoke because she chose that first. No Pet Repel. R12. And inventory team, make sure you know that's an R12. And Sliver ability. Fly Rod with the prevention. All right, before Ron's turn, we're going to cap Ron's needle. It's 100 points. We got both teams with 2 hit grenades, only 1 away from their final hit. And you can see some preventions are going on. All right, Ron, your needle's capped. You're up. 20-second timer. Wicked Colossal Kang to Main Street. Bounce Villar's back. Pet Repel. F5 St. Elmo to the wall. And Sliver Ability. He's duplexed as well. All right, it hits. Elmo is not a hit grenade. Is it? But he does get the points for the Elmo. All right, we'll bounce Villar's back. So Villar can replay it later on in the game. But her 73-point Kang is back in her hand. And Ron is a Wicked Colossal Kang. 73 points. Pet Repel, Elmo, and Sliver Ability. All right. Final move of round 2, Gemstone, 20 seconds. Easily beats the timer. Sorry, I would have given Gem more time because her needle caps as well. So I should have capped that before her turn started. But Gem's needle did cap. Second needle of the game. So let me update the scoreboard. We got two needles for Arc, 1 needle for Vox. You did, Ron. Mythic Grendel to the haystack. Pet Repel, F4 St. Milo, and Sliver Ability. Ron says it hits. All right, Gem is duplexed as well. The Milo does hit the Watchtower because Ron said so. And that is the 3rd hit grenade. So all throw and all hit are set up for Team Arc. Give Gem a Pet Repel. Mythic Grin. And Sliver Ability. All right, that is the end of round number 2. At the end of round number 2, each team duplexing. 73 points for Team VOX and 73 points for Team Arc. That's a lot of points. These teams know what they're doing. We get a second Temple Blessing for Villar, a second one for Crimson. We get a second Halo for Gem. Second Halo for Trigger. And a second Halo for Flyrod. That means we light a second Straw Man for Vox, 10-0. Also, 25 more points in the DZ. All right, final round of the first half, everybody. Trigger, before your move. We're going to cap 282 points in Kangs. 282 for Team VOX. We're also going to cap Dark Boss. And flag. All right, Trigger, 20-second timer starts right now. All right, she missed the timer. She did beat the nerf timer barely. Going to play Rambo. Ward to Fly Rod. Pet Repel. S6 Spade. And M6. All right, I need the exact reading of Rambo. Checking my notes. All right. Kill all enemy Kangs in play. None can be played by them this round. Ouch. All right. Not only does it kill your Kangs, it keeps you from playing any this round. All right, so Shaman, your Kang is dead. Ward to Fly Rod. Pet Repel. S6 Spade with MD6. Julia says it hits, and Ron's going to play Chromica. Ron getting his second Dragon/Titan play. Each team has now played 2. S6 Spade Grenade with MD6. 2 blue blocks. Trigger throwing the heat. Cross country, too. All the way over, taking out 2 blue. Trigger. Julia, you're up. 20-second timer. Actually, yep, you're good. You're good. You got no capping pets out. Beats the timer. Julia has full range. She's going to move down to their tank zone. Move to their tank zone. Lost Boss to Main Street. Dragon Smoke to the tower. And Mega Blast to the wall with MD6. She stole her boss. It is only for the boss. It is not for every variation of that boss. And we found that out because it actually happened against Ark in their last game. I think against Jet, maybe? Sly. All right, Lost Boss. Starts at 60%. Can't be stolen, but adds an extra 50 points if it caps. So, Ron, the health on that boss is 60%. It is a lost boss, but it's worth a bonus 50 if it caps. Played in round 3 would cap in round 5. Movement's good. Lost boss is good. Gonna light the smoke to the Dragon Tower. Smoke is there. An S6 Mega Blast to the wall. With MD6, Ron gonna play so Mega Blast will add 2 rage. Also, MD5. That's a huge grenade. So they do get the MD5, but Ron using the Mythic Dark Blue on it. Julia can play Max Absorb. First blue of the game will nerf Ark's next grenade with the Mythic Dark Blue. Julia playing Max Absorb to keep her buffs. All right, let's go to Fly Rod. 20-second timer fly. Did not beat the timer. We're working on the nerf timer. All right. Go ahead and repost it for me. He got it in on time then. I don't see it. So if mods can post it, we'll give him credit for getting the move in. No, that was Crimson. Mythic Dark Boss. Julia. All right. Fly Rod, still waiting on your move. There it is. All right. Going to play Luna Lamp on Ron. Grendel to the Haystack. F5 St. Milo. And Cease to Julia. So, Julie, you get one more ability, and then you get no more. Fly Rod gets no more. So, Fly Rod, no abilities left. Julia gets one more. Luna Lamp on Ron. So we're going to beef up the damage and Ron's ability to throw 3 higher level potions. Grendel to the haystack, so we got a second Grendel out there. It's a regular Grendel. So Fly Rod with the Grin. Jim has her Grendel. St. Milo to the Watchtower. That Watchtower is going to hit, and that is going to be the final hit needed for Team VOX. They get the points for the Milo. All right, before Villar's turn, Villar will cap your Wicked Boss. Flags are 1-1. 20-second timer, Villar. Beats the timer. Plenty of time to spare. Needle to the haystack. Dust to Ron. S6 Mega Blast to the wall and MD6. Needle to the haystack is going to be devoured by Fly Rod's Grendel. It dies. Dust Smoke over to Ron. S6 Mega Blast to the wall. Ron says wait. Needle's dead. Dust is on Ron. He does get the bonus in the sniper zone. And we know he's got Luna Lamp on him. And a S6 Mega Blast is a big grenade. Ron going to use a prevention to shut down the Mega Blast. The mass destruction stays. But the rage and the grenade does not. So you can see the beauty of that Mega Blast is if it hits, it's great. It's got a lot of mass destruction and 2 extra rage. If it doesn't, you're still getting extra mass destruction for your team. So pretty awesome grenade. All right, before Crimson's move, we're going to cap Crimson's boss. Is a dark boss. As second flag for Team VOX. And 20-second timer, Crimson. Crimson Shaman, Ron, and Jim, and then we got halftime. Gold Benny to Main Street Boss, M7 Spade to the wall, and MD6. Crimson easily beat the timer. So Gold Benny, M7 Spade, plus she is in the tank, makes it a T10, and MD6 Bumps their mass destruction up to 12. Julia says, wait. Can eclipse the boss. No damage to the boss. So Gold Benny will swing and miss. And because he doesn't have a target, he's not static. He's gone. M7 Spade Grenade. Julia hits her weight on the spade. All right, and that is a T10 spade for Crimson with mass destruction. That's going to wreak some havoc. Blue block. Red block. And 35% of a red block for Crimson. 2.65 red remaining. Wrecking walls from the tank. Shaman, you're up. 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Going to play Banish Wand, which is the Nirvana Wand. A Stasis to Ron. So Nirvana Wands are out of play. Julie cannot be bumped back or launched. Stasis to Ron. Thrill Rad Rage. Unforgiven to the wall from the grenade launcher with MD6. MD is up to 28 for Team Arc. Sheila throwing the heat. That is an S13 for the Shaman. Plus she's in a battleship. And it is Unforgiven. So Ron can't use a player prevention, so he's going to play a red-blue. Second blue of the game for Team VOX. Red from the red-blue. Will break Shaman's absorption. All right, Banish Wand's good. Stasis good. Thrill Rad Rage. Made it an S13. Shaman going to use Max Absorb. And MD6. Let's go over to Father Ron. Final VOX move of the first half. 20 seconds, Ron. Crimson playing Chromica. Third Dragon play by Team VOX. Ron playing Gold Watcher. M7. Red Gel. Standard ammo to the boss with MD6. All right, Ron with the Gold Watcher. We'll put it on the third watchtower. Ron points for the Gold Watcher. Big Red Gel Shot, Gold Watcher, Julia playing a Psycho. First Psycho of the game. Mythic Psycho will hit Ron. And Ron, that will break your Absorption and your Seal, and he'll use Max Absorb to keep those items. All right, final move of the first half, Gemstone. 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Gem, Dark Balls to their chest, sealing 3 of them, 7 Milo, and MD6. Gem playing Dark Boss in 3. We'll cap in 5. It hits. And a Milo to the Watchtower, and she pays the price for it. So she'll go ahead and light that one up, and they get the points for the Milo. It is halftime. Few things. Captains, give me your subs. First and foremost, 73 points for each team in their sliver game. We're going to remove a blessing from each one. Crimson and Valar fighting over the temple. Each has now been there 3 rounds. Everybody in the DZ. Flyrod will lose his Seal. Trigger will lose her Pet Repel and her Seal. Jim is going to lose her Pet Repel and her Seal. Elevation for everybody. DZ is 25 Vox, 0 for Arc. Vehicles are gone. Lingering smokes are gone. Stasis is gone. There was another straw man advantage. So Vox is up to 15-0. And let's get our subs in. Die for Fly, Nightshade in the Ozone. Good to see the champ in there. And he did manage to get 3 halos as well while he was in there. Jim got her 3rd halo. Trigger has her 3rd halo. Good job to both Flyrod and Shaman. Very well played. Pope in the Ozone. Dow in the bomber area. Remember, we are in round 4. Battleship is gone. Very interesting game here. We've got teams that have played 3, 4 dragons. You can see the hits where they're lit up. You know where they've been. And you can see the scoreboard of how they're scoring. Very competitive. All right, the order is going to be as follows for the second half. Trigger, Julia, Doc, Valar, Crimson, Dal, Ron, Jim, Nightshade, and Pope. Trigger, round number 4 starts right now, 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Going to play Mythic Poe. It is unpreventable. To Main Street Boss. Dragon Smoke to the castle. M7 Mega Blast to the wall. With Armageddon. So every enemy player and creature loses 5% health. All right, so that means Lost Boss. Every player on Ark is 95%. The Lost Boss is at 55%. Mythic Poe hits, takes it down to 45%. Julia has good armor. So Lost Boss is sitting at 45% health. Mythic Poe. It's a good play. All right, 1 second. All right, yep, Mythic Poe and Armageddon, back to back. Dragon Smoke going to light this castle. And they're going to prevent the Mega Blast, but they do get the Mass Destruction. All right, Julia, over to you. 20-second timer. Cyborg Slim. Health effects will be cut in half and no lingering smokes for their Cyborg. Julia going to move to their DZ. Guess I need to put you up there, right, Doc? Doc's like, where am I at? Well, I'm on the sideline. Sorry, Doc. Not intentional. You're just you're so pale. Your character's so pale. It's hard for me to see her. Look how white she is. Like super white. Like you're like transparent. All right, let's get Doc over there in her DZ. All right, Cyborg Slim, move to their DZ. Needle to the haystack. Spill and Thrill to Ron. F4 Dracarys to the Dragon Tower with Coalesce Stratus. All right, Julia playing the Enchant Coalesce. And combining the Cadenza and the Damien. And going to mend the boss. Now, that's an old gear ability, not a current gear ability. All right. Because she used the Coalesce, the Cadenza will remove half of Mass Destruction Amp from enemy team. No, it's preventable. The Cadenza can be prevented by preventions and seals. And it says can only be prevented by preventions and seals. Damien is a rocket launcher. Right. Coalesce is an enchant that allows you to merge. So, combine the power and the ability. Prevents can only stop 50% of the damage. So 50% of the damage would go through. It doesn't make it non-preventable. It prevents all of the damage from going through to that target. So what Coalesce allows you to do is merge two different abilities. The Cadenza ability and the Damien. But 50% of the damage goes through. So if that would have been used on a wall, all of that damage is going to carry over to the wall. But the effect is prevented. So Nightshade intervening. The mend goes through. It's going to add that lost boss up to 50%. Needle to the haystack. So Needle being played in 4 would cap in 5. All right. Slim goes through, moves their DZ, Needle's in play, Spill and Thrill to Ron, F4 Dracarys to the tower. With the enchantment ability, Ron burns the prevention to stop it. 50% of the damage would carry over, but no damage is required. It has to have a clean hit. And that is the end of the move. Doc, you're up. 20-second timer, Doc. Do we have Doc? Doc, you might be lagging. There it is. Doc, going to Talon Crimson into the temple. Move into the temple herself. Ah, they're double dipping in the temple. Mirror Smoke to the boss. E1 Dracarys to the castle. Duplex and sacrifice the top hat. I do need to remove one of these from each team because I did not remove them at the end of the round. So both teams have 3. Doc is sacrificing to give them a 4th. Let's put a little Mirror Smoke on the boss. All right. And playing Duplex. So Talon Crimson, move to the temple, Mirror Smoke, E1 Dracarys to the castle, and Ron, they're going to Judas your Dracarys over to their castle. Crimson using the prevention. So they get another prevention out of the way. Might be setting up for a big finish by both teams. All right, let's go over to Valar. 20-second timer, Valar. Move to the temple steps. Colossal Kang to Jim's boss with pink smoke. Colossal Kang could be worth 73. She got to replay it. F4 Unforgiven to the wall. I'm going to play Scream on trigger. It's going to give them more amp. And going to howl trigger. So she only gets 18 seconds for her move. Dr. Dai going to evoke. Two and a half. Carnage. With a lot of mass destruction. 34 mass destruction added. So we will get rid of that little bit of a green block, and we will take out a full blue block. 2 full blue for Arc, 2.65 red for Vox. Mass destruction for both teams, pretty good. Let's go over to Crimson, 20-second timer. Immortal Kane, the Main Street boss. Mirror Smoke with Stack, D9, S8 standard ammo, red gel, and Eiffel ability. Going to play Eiffel, which is going to rebuild a blue block. Three full blue. All right. So Mortal Cane will hit first, and that'll get rid of the Mirror Smoke temporarily. Mortal Cane will take the boss. From 50 down to 40. But we'll also spread a flame on the watchtower. It's an important thing with Cane. To light watchtower number 4. And then the D9 standard ammo, Mythic Psycho, final Psycho of the game, and Crimson will use Max Absorb on that. I did light a flame. That's what Cane does. Well, if I said watchtower, it's straw man, Ron. That's what Cane does. It lights a straw man. So if I said it incorrectly, I played it correctly. All right, so Immortal Cane hits, lights a straw man, gets rid of the Mirror Smoke. The D9 is prevented because there's no Mirror Smoke there. But then she plays Mirror Smoke to stack. So now there is a Mirror Smoke that's there. And she played Eiffel. All right? Let's go to Dow. "20-second timer, Dow." Does not beat the timer. Do we have Dow? All right, we got Dow. Move into range and Holy Smoke the Mirror Smoke. Um, Wow. Ron, I can't tell you what you just did. But it ain't good. Nightshade. Resin Restore. The killing blow for Team Arc. And I need a sub for Nightshade. Well, we don't have to have a sub. If he resin restores, we're fine. But Dow played the Unholy Smoke, so Dow actually gets the kill. All right. Dow moves in, plays Unholy Smoke. They try to Pontiff it. You can't get rid of an Unholy Smoke. It's instant death. Mega Blast to the wall. Needle to the haystack. Dr. Dye going to evoke the Mega Blast. The Needle is played by Dow. In 4, we cap in 5. And Dow with a ruffled feather. All right, damage for the Mega Blast. E8, let's cut it in half. It's not a prevention, which is good. So a prevention only does certain, but the evoke is actually really good for this. So to be equivalent of a lithium E4 to the wall after mass destruction. Blue block. And a blue block. Remember, it just got Eiffled. Dow going to invoke it. And we'll add half of that damage back, which will get him another blue block. We got evokes and invokes. Mirror smoke is gone. All right, let's go over to Ron. Ron, 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Ron going to turn Dow into an engineer. Mythic Cane to Main Street Boss. Mirror Smoke to Main Street Boss, which is not resolved. And an H10 standard ammo, red gel to the boss with Eiffel. All right, so no smoke is currently resolved. It's waiting. So Mythic Cane. Which would hit Spread of Flame. And then an H10 standard ammo red gel. Julia. Hits her weight. It hits. All right. Let's spread the flame. We got a 5th straw man lit up. Take the boss from 35% down to 25%. H10 standard ammo. Ron going big, big hit. And Julia, good damage. We'll take that boss down to 5%. Ron dealing another 20%. So pretty good hit, taking it from 40 all the way down to 5. Father Ron. And now we got a mirror smoke stacked on it as well. Lost Boss sitting at 5%. Gemstone. You're up. 20-second timer, Jim. Beats the timer. Jim going to go Colossal Kang to her boss. $73 if it caps. Max Seal. S6 Dracarys to the Dragon Tower. And going to Scream Ron. Give him a little more amp. And give Ron 18 seconds. Ron has a Dracarys decision. He says, wait. Gold blue from Trigger. Final blue of the game for Team VOX. Gold from the gold blue. Would hit Jim for 20% because her seal has not resolved. So it would take Jim from 95% down to 75%. She's going to play Max Absorb. Let's keep her at 95%. All right, Nightshade, welcome back to the game. You're a little charred, but you're back. 20 seconds, Nightshade. Beats the nerve timer. From the Ozone. Benny to Main Street Boss. Drop a seal. S6 Unforgiven to the wall with duplex and sacrifice the top hat. Let's give him the duplex. Julia hits her weight. We got Benny going into mirror smoke. And we got an S6 Unforgiven to the wall. Duplex. All right. Ruffled Feather for Nightshade. Getting the boss kill. Vox, very persistent. Getting rid of that boss on Main Street. And Immortal Blue, that is the second blue of the game. And the Immortal, from the Immortal Blue, will take Nightshade down to 60% health. All right, final move of round number 4. Let's go over to Pope. 20-second timer. Max absorb for Nightshade, keeping him at 100%. Pope does not beat the timer. Does not beat the nerf timer. Do we have Pope? Have him send the move directly to me via messenger, and then we'll have somebody else post it. I still don't have it on messenger. I'm going to give him 20 more seconds to send it to me. We're 2 minutes into this move. Arc, I need this move sent to me via messenger. There should be no holdup with messenger. All right, we're skipping. Next move has been 5 minutes, guys. It doesn't take 5 minutes to get a move. We got to have people online and ready to go. I can't penalize VOX because we don't have a player here. All right, well, I can't help him. If his phone's overheating and he's not online, I got no message from him, then he's not here. And that's the rules, guys. Sorry. All right, we're skipping the move. That is the end of round number 4. At the end of round number 4. Let me know if you guys want to put a sub in for Pope. If you want to put in a sub, get me a sub. Get Sheila back in the game. Since we skipped the move, you're allowed to do that. All right, end of round number 4. We got a golden orb for Crimson. We cannot put Sky in. It'd have to be Sheila. Sheila's the only extra person that we have. We've got 73 points for VOX, 73 points for Arc and Slivers. Julia with a Siege and a Bronze Star. Oh, Julia, you want to keep trying with Pope, or do you want to get Sheila back in the game? Let me know. All right, we're going to get Sheila back in the game for Pope. I'll give you guys a new order shortly. Thank you, Sheila. DZ, we got one second. I think we got a Avalanche for Team Arc. Ron, is that what you got? Avalanche? All right. 75 for Arc, 0 for VOX. Sorry, Pet Repel, stay. It's the absorptions and the seals are gone for all the players. Nightshade loses his seal. Crimson, Ron, Trigger did not have one. And Dr. Die. All right, so no seal, 75-0. We're going to put out one of those straw men. VOX still getting 25 for straw men. We're going to remove several of these sliver blessings. All right, so we've given the sliver points. Crimson got her golden orb. Julia got her bronze star. We're moving on to round number 5. At the start of round 5, trigger, 20-second timer. Dune to light a straw man. Max seal to dock. S8 to the wall with Eiffel. All right, we're going to rebuild a blue block. All right, Dune to the straw man. Light it up. You can. It wasn't a targeting issue. She didn't pick the grenade. So even though you locked it in, you do get to change the reply. Absolutely. Dune to light straw man. Max seal to dock. S8 to the wall. All they get is a warning for no grenade. It's not a targeting issue yet. So she did clarify it's a spade, and we got Eiffel. So you got an S8 spade grenade with mass destruction, Julia. The order is as follows because we got a sub. It'll be Trigger, Julia, Doc, Valar, Crimson, Dow, Ron, Jim, Nightshade, and Shaman. Julia and Valar, 2 emo sonars. S4 Carnage with mass destruction. Take out the 6-5. And we'll take out 30%. 1.7 red team VOX. All right, before Julia's turn, we're going to cap another needle. Third needle for Team Arc. Boss is dead, so we don't cap a boss. Julia, 20-second timer. Beats the timer. Going to Euclid, Dr. Die. Welcome to the game, Doc. Move into range, Colossal Kang. There's only one, so there's no targeting issue. It'll be by default. So 73 point, potentially Colossal Kang. Euclid Dr. Die, move into range. And a H9 Smash Face. All right, get the damage calculated. It can never be nerfed. You can prevent it. You can redirect it, but no sonars, evokes, or other nerfs. Ron. Smash Face cannot be nerfed. So no immortal sonars, no sonars at all. Now you guys are starting to see the power of Humbug, Smash Faces, Mega Blast. These big grenades make a difference. All right, so Julia, it is a D400 from Leonidas. That's 9, 10. Does have mass destruction. It's going to be a big hit. And amplify. Blue, red, red, and 25% red. 75 red remaining. We got 1.75 on the arc side, 1.7 on the VOX side. Walls are basically even. Dow going to add evoke to it to kick it up a little bit higher. We'll take out the rest of that red block. And it's 0.75. That's his final charge of evoke. So VOX 1.7, arc 0.75. And Intaglio finishes it off. Julia playing Intaglio. Third dragon play of the game. Let's give Julia a gold bar. All right, gold bar. First time we've had a wall taken down tonight. All right, we will skip Dr. Die. And we will go to Valar. Valar, 20-second timer. Beats a timer. Colossal Gideon, Torment Ron, Snowstorm to the wall with Jigsaw and Zenith ability. It hits. Put the torment on Ron. After mass destruction. Black and green. We'll go 50-50 on the wall to see what we're going to freeze. It is 1. All right, first block is frozen. Crimson, you're up from the temple. 20-second timer. We have Crimson and Dow. Crimson is going to Tigress their wall. Colossal Gideon. H9 Dark 9 standard ammo, red gel to their boss. Will deal double damage. Be 2 charges on this wall. H9 from the Dark 9. This is Jim's boss. Jim has good gear. But this is a D9, and it deals double damage. Crimson going big. And that is a big hit. Crimson, 45% damage to Jim's boss. Jim's boss is at 55%. PvP is back. Dow, before your turn, your needle is going to cap. 4th needle for Team Arc. "20-second timer, Dow. All right, we got Mythic Orbital. Tormented Nightshade. Did not call the target. So it is a 25-point targeting penalty. Mythic Orbital, Cluster F, E9 Unforgiven to the wall, Berserk, and sacrifice a top hat. Ron, hits or wait? It hits. So that'll be R2 for Dow and R2 for Sheila. I'm sorry, R2 for Jim. Now there is 2 charges of Tigress on that wall, which is going to slow it down. It's going to take out most of the mass destruction. So an Unforgiven is going to get you the equivalent of a green block. And there's 1 charge of Tigress remaining. Father Ron, you are up. 20-second timer. Ron, Jim, Nightshade, and Shaman. Red Benny to the ball. Seal and Thrill. Flame Grenade to the Straw Man. And Hush on Jim. Means, Jim, you cannot use the gear ability this turn. Julia hits her weight. Red Benny to the boss. Seal and Thrill. Flame Grenade to Straw Man. And Hush to Jim. It hits. All right, let's light Straw Man. Number 6. Ron. With a Torch 6 award. Red Benny is going to hit. And we'll take Jim's boss down to 48%. All right, on Jim's turn. We're going to cap Arc Boss number 2. $219 points worth of Kangs. Flag should be even at 2-2. Jim, 20-second timer. Mythic Gideon, Torment Trigger, Torch Wand, ouch. And S8, Dracarys to the tower with Berserk, paying it forward. It hits. Torment is going to be a red wand. That means Strawman will be 0 this round. No points for Strawman this round. Dracarys to the tower is going to light up Goddard. 100-point play for Jim. And it's going to remove 2 of the remaining halos. Nightshade, you're up. 20 seconds, Nightshade. Easily beats the timer. Going to get in the turret. Mythic Gideon. Sickness Smoke to Jim. Rage from Pershing. S8 Spade to the wall with Sliver ability. All right, read it once. Gets in the turret. So there will be no S8. It'll be equivalent to an S3. Hits or wait, Julia. It hits. Jim affected by Sickness Smoke. So we got a 1, 2, 3. And the block is frozen, so either way, it's just going to break the ice block. Was a frozen wall anyway. So turret is good, Gideon is good, Sickness Smoke, Rage, S8 Spade to the wall, and Sliver ability, all good. Shaman, you're up. Final move of round number 6, 20 seconds. Spud to Ron, jump in turret, seal and thrill. Rage Tonic treks to the wall with Berserk. Ron says wait. Dr. Dye, Medic page 1, and Motor Sonar to Crimson. All right. That's correct. Dye is a boss. All right. So Dye does not get to use her ability. Crimson played Immortal Sonar. Now, this is where it is kind of important to know the grenade. I'm going to allow the Immortal Sonar. But Trex, regardless of the rage, when it hits, takes out 2 blocks. So, no matter what you do to it, thrill it, nerf it, whatever, it's still going to take out 2 blocks. So we're going to take out a blue and a blue. That's the beauty of the Trex grenade. Doesn't really matter what happens to it. All right, at the end of the round, a blessing for Crimson. 85 points in slivers for VOX. 73 for Arc. 0 points for Strawman. DZ. Jim. And Arc, 25-0. And that, everybody, is where we leave it. And there's going to be some crazy things to happen in this. So the timer is up, and we did finish a full round. So a interesting game by both parties. So I do want to point out as we go through the final stuff. Jim cannot get PCP DZ awards because they played Sickness Smoke on her. So that means Team VOX, those halos that Jim got, they won't mean anything. So Fly Rod will get 100 points for PCP DZ. Jim would have gotten the full 100 points, and Fly Rod would have gotten 50, but instead Fly gets 100, Jim gets 0 because of the Sickness Smoke. Now, had she played a Heal and Seal, she would have gotten rid of the Sickness Smoke. So that's a very good play. So even though this game is a little rough, I know you guys are going to remember the Pontiff and then, Pope missing his turn, those things. There was some good gameplay mixed in here as well. All right, let's get to the walls. We've got 3 walls being taken out by Team Arc. Over on the other side, we've got 5 being taken out. So we'll take out those 2. We'll reset it. And take out 3 more. True. Unless Sheila could have healed her, I guess. All right. Let's do the math here and see. I think everybody watching was somewhat entertained. So a lot of stuff tonight. So we'll be right back. Yes, Ron, 5 rounds in the sniper zone, got 50 points and a bronze star. Both. Julia got the siege. She got 100 and a bronze star. Ron got 50 and a bronze star. So regardless of the score, it was a good game. And this is what crazy faction war is all about. So let's do the math, see how it works out. Opportunity by both teams, but some creative gameplay by both teams as well. A lot of learning tonight. All right, everybody, we are back, and we do have a winner in tonight's showdown. Did Ark tie it up, and now they're 1-1 against VOX, or did VOX cover at home, and is VOX now 2-0 against Ark? So we're going to give you a breakdown of how this game played out. You guys saw it live, so you saw all the different elements of it. We'll start out with flags. There was some interesting stuff with the flag game, right? You had a ball steal. So, mistakes and good plays by both. So good play, you think, initially by Trigger to steal the boss, only to have Julia have the lost boss and be able to get that in play. And then you had putting a ward on Fly Rod, and then VOX not getting that second boss out there. Ultimately, VOX used a lot of attacks to get that lost boss out off the field, and we ended up even, 450 to 450 in the boss game, 2-2. Well, then you get to the wall game. VOX out of the gates really good with the wall game, and then a couple snowstorms kind of stalled them a little bit. You had a couple VOX attacks that were big attacks, but all they did was break the ice block. So I know VOX would like to have those back. Ark able to kind of get control of the walls midway through the game, 500 to 325. So you got a little bit of an advantage. Strawman was kind of incidental. VOX had a good strategy taking over the DZ, and they started to move a little bit, and they lit up those strawmen. They were getting points, but then when it got serious where they were going to get some good points, Jim pulled out that torch wand, blocked them out. So ultimately, 65 points for VOX, 0 for Ark, a slight advantage. Killing blow was big. No other way to say it. Dow, nice move going over, trying to get rid of the mirror smoke. VOX had a nice system there. They were putting mirror smoke. They were spamming it. They were going to get that kill. And then Dow's like, I'm going to go get rid of it. Ron immediately played to Ponif, and kaboom. We lost Nightshade very, very quickly. That was a 225-point play right there. Huge. The Needle game. Needle game was a very interesting dynamic because you had Grindles and Needles. Ark trying to lock it down early. Trying to gain points, hoping that they could catch up with that. Well, they did. 400 points in Needles to VOX's 100. Couple Needles were played to get rid of Grindles, but that's a big advantage right there. Siege and Occupy. You had Julia with 100 points. You had Ron with 50. Watchtowers even at 75-75. DZ. Ark actually won the DZ because they had an avalanche, 100 to 75. And timers, both teams had some opportunities with timers. Pope not being there cost them 25 points. But overall, VOX had a minus 60. Ark had a minus 45. So timers a challenge for both teams tonight. Just after the core points, Ark with a pretty decent lead, 1999 to 1362. But we still got to do the PCP and the slivers and the extras. PCP, we had Gold Bar, Feather, Cannonball, Tire, Bronze. Overall, we had 250 points for Team Ark. And that included Goddard. Over on the other side, we had VOX, Feather, Cannonball got Dominari, Tire, 100 points in the DZ, 100 points in the Orb, 25-point Bronze Star. Overall, 325. So they cut into that lead by 75, still down a few hundred points. The extras, slivers, Ark 317, VOX 329. VOX won the sliver game. All the extra points of the Dark Bosses, Chromicas, Milos, VOX gained 150, Ark only gained 98, and each team lost 116. Overall, Ark on the road tonight, 25-48, VOX 2050. Ark, big road win, and teams got a little time to think about it, revamp their strategy. I thought both teams did some really good stuff. Both teams left a lot of points on the table. You guys have a good night. Good game. We got a epic battle. These teams are now tied 1-1. Each team has won on the other team's field. Makes me wonder if some of these home teams will start going last. Interesting concept. You guys have a great night. Talk to you all tomorrow night for a little bit of fish fights. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.